Welcome to our YouTube channel, where we take you on a journey through time with a collection of rare and fascinating photographs. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the world through the lens of these stunning photographs. In 1960, the world watched as the first U.S. presidential debate was televised, marking a significant moment in American political history. The debate between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon was a turning point in how campaigns were run, and it highlighted the growing importance of television as a medium for communication. The Montreal Protocol, signed in 1987, was a landmark agreement aimed at reducing the production and consumption of ozone-depleting substances, such as chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs. This treaty was an important step in addressing the global problem of ozone depletion and protecting the Earth's atmosphere. In 1947, the world witnessed the invention of the first transistor, a tiny device that revolutionized the field of electronics. This invention laid the foundation for the modern computer age and has had a profound impact on our daily lives. Nelson Mandela's swearing-in ceremony as South Africa's first black president in 1994 marked the end of apartheid and the beginning of a new era of racial equality in the country. This historic moment was a symbol of hope for millions of people around the world who had fought for justice and human rights. The Exxon Valdez oil spill in 1989 was one of the worst environmental disasters in history. The spill, which occurred in Alaska's Prince William Sound, released millions of gallons of oil into the ocean and caused extensive damage to wildlife and the environment. The first space shuttle launch in 1981 marked a major milestone in space exploration. The shuttle program allowed astronauts to conduct experiments and research in space, as well as repair and maintain satellites in orbit. The Battle of Stalingrad, fought between 1942 and 1943, was one of the most brutal and devastating battles of World War II. The battle marked a turning point in the war and was a significant victory for the Soviet Union. Margaret Thatcher became the first woman to serve as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in 1979, breaking a significant gender barrier in British politics. Thatcher's leadership and policies had a major impact on the UK and on the world stage. The Kent State shootings in 1970 were a tragic event that occurred during a protest against the Vietnam War. The shooting, which resulted in the deaths of 4 unarmed students, shocked the nation and sparked a wave of protests and demonstrations. The Treaty of Rome, signed in 1957, established the European Economic Community, a precursor to the European Union. The treaty was a significant step towards European integration and cooperation, and it paved the way for the creation of a single European market. The Miracle on Ice, a hockey game played between the United States and the Soviet Union during the 1980 Winter Olympics, was a stunning upset victory for the U.S. team. The game was a symbol of American perseverance and spirit during a difficult time in the nation's history. The inaugural Earth Day celebration in 1970 was a major event in the history of the environmental movement. The day was marked by demonstrations and rallies across the United States, raising awareness about the importance of protecting our planet and sparking a new wave of environmental activism. The Berlin Airlift, which took place from 1948 to 1949, was a massive effort to supply West Berlin with food, fuel, and other essentials during a Soviet blockade. The airlift was a triumph of cooperation and logistics, and it helped to ease tensions between the Western Allies and the Soviet Union. The Suez Crisis in 1956 was a major international crisis that occurred when Israel, the UK, and France invaded Egypt in response to the nationalization of the Suez Canal. The crisis marked a turning point in the history of the Middle East and highlighted the complex geopolitical tensions of the Cold War era. The opening of the Sydney Opera House in 1973 was a major cultural event and a significant architectural achievement. The iconic building, designed by Danish architect Jorn Utzon, is a symbol of modern Australia and an important cultural center for the arts. This photograph of survivors of the Auschwitz concentration camp after their liberation by Soviet forces is a harrowing reminder of the Holocaust and its impact on millions of lives. The atrocities committed during the Holocaust serve as a tragic example of the dangers of hatred and intolerance. A photograph of world leaders signing the Helsinki Accords, an agreement that aimed to reduce tensions between the Soviet Union and Western countries during the Cold War. The integration of the University of Mississippi in 1962 was a milestone in the civil rights movement. The enrollment of the first African-American student, James Meredith, at the university was a hard-fought victory for equality and justice in the face of deep-seated racism and discrimination. The first email was sent in 1971 by computer engineer Ray Tomlinson, marking a major milestone in the development of the Internet and digital communication. Email has since become a ubiquitous and essential tool for communication in the modern world. This photograph of Fidel Castro and his supporters celebrating their victory in the Cuban Revolution in 1959 marked a major shift in the political landscape of the Western Hemisphere. The revolution led to the establishment of a communist government in Cuba and heightened tensions with the United States, setting the stage for decades of geopolitical conflict. The first Winter Olympic Games were held in Chamonix, France in 1924. The Games, which featured events such as skiing, skating, and ice hockey, have since become a beloved global sporting event and a symbol of international cooperation and competition. The first commercial radio broadcast took place in 1920, marking a major breakthrough in the field of communication and entertainment. Radio has since become a ubiquitous medium for news, music, and entertainment, shaping the cultural landscape of the 20th century and beyond. The Munich Agreement of 1938, which allowed Nazi Germany to annex parts of Czechoslovakia, is widely regarded as a catastrophic failure of appeasement by Western powers in the lead-up to World War II. The agreement highlighted the dangers of isolationism and the need for strong international cooperation and diplomacy. This photograph shows Theodore Maiman with his experimental ruby laser, the world's first working laser. The invention of the laser was a major breakthrough in the field of physics and has had a profound impact on technology and scientific research in the decades since its invention.